So, welcome to SuperCon, Daniel.
Thank you guys for having me. You guys have been awesome so far today.
All right, so you know what? We got a big line already, and we didn't get to all the questions last time. So, what do you say we jump right into the fan questions?
Yep, sounds good.
All right, just make sure you guys speak into the microphone, all right?
Hi, Daniel. I'm Mark. First of all, I'll give you credit because I know you're humble. You won't take it. What's going on with NXT right now in the WWE, you're responsible for it. You showed that wrestling fans, shockingly, will cheer for a wrestler. So my question is, who on the independent scene right now deserves a job?
Oh my gosh. So I don't know if I'd consider him an independent wrestler. He might have a contract with New Japan, but I really like AJ Styles. I wish, I just really like, I think of people who I want to work with, and I want to work with guys like AJ. But I mean, there's so many good guys out there. There's the Roderick Strongs, all those kind of guys that I've known for years. So, but if I had to pick one, it'd probably be AJ.
Thank you.
And that's definitely a true thing. You totally pioneered that sort of junior heavyweight style, brought it to WWE, and I mean now with NXT, that totally seems like your influence.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a good thing. If we were all wrestling like Hulk Hogan, I think we'd all last a lot longer, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think wrestling fans are happy, but I totally get that. All right, next up.
Hi. I know you and Ryback are friends. Why the Ryback?
I honestly don't know. It just started being a thing. Like, I called him the Ryback because his real name is Ryan, and all his friends used to call him a silverback, like because he's a big, like, gorilla-looking guy. And so he started calling himself Ryback. And I thought, you're the only Ryback, so you have to be the Ryback. Like, a Ryback could be a species of things. So there's no good explanation for it.
All right, thank you for coming out.
Future tag team, the Deep Ryback.
How did you come up with your catchphrase as yes, yes, no, no?
I stole it from a UFC fighter named Diego Sanchez. And did a little bit of a different movement. He would like pound his fist like this, and I would just do this. But in fairness to me, he stole it from a motivational speaker named Tony Robbins. So we're all stealing from each other, so it works.
That's the circle of life.
Okay, I have two questions. How hard was it to get started in the WWE?
So it's hard to get started in wrestling, per se, and to get to WWE was harder for me just because I'm smaller. But for some people, it's relatively easy, depending on your size or your look or your background and whatnot. I don't know if any of you guys are watching Tough Enough, but most of those people have never wrestled before or anything like that, but were able to get in. There's one guy, he's enormous. He's like 6'7", 300 pounds. So for guys like that, it's relatively easy to get in, but very difficult to succeed.
Okay. And yes or no?
It depends on the question.
Hi. It's an honor to be here with you. What is the real reason you didn't originally get involved with Nexus back in 2010?
Oh, I got fired. Yeah, I choked an announcer with a necktie and spit in John Cena's face. Neither of. Okay, how can you guys still hate John Cena, right? Like he puts on all these awesome matches and like. He's granted more Make-A-Wishes than anybody in history, and everybody still boos him. Yeah, I hate him too. Boo, John Cena. Just kidding.
Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome.
Good afternoon, Daniel Bryan. First and foremost, I'd like to say I hope you get well better soon.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. My first question is, speaking of health what is the hardest bump you've ever taken in your career?
There's no specific bump that I remember being the hardest, but when I was in Ring of Honor in 2007, I got punched in the eye by a 350-pound Japanese man named Takeshi Morishima, and it fractured my orbital bone and I detached my retina. And I think that's, and I've kickboxed with like UFC fighters, and that's the hardest I've ever been hit. So yeah, that was probably the worst thing.
My next question is, do you think you would have ever gotten the chance you've gotten now 10 to 20 years ago?
Absolutely not, no. And wrestling is completely different now because of the very strict drug testing policies and stuff like that. But like if you 15, 20 years ago, you're looking at 1995, somebody like me would have never been given an opportunity.
All right, guys, real quick, because we got a lot of people in line. Just one question per, all right?
Hey, I'm Devin Shattuck, and I want to ask this question. If you had a manager, past or present, who would it be?
Bobby the Brain Heenan.
Hey, Daniel, real quick. When Randy Orton cashed in on you at SummerSlam, was that the start of the storyline with the Authority for you to WrestleMania, or did it start really after the Royal Rumble, you being excluded from it?
It pretty much started after the Royal Rumble. It was never supposed to be something that led to WrestleMania. It just kind of happened, I think a lot of because of you guys, which is one of the coolest things about wrestling is that fans have the ability to make change. Like if you guys watch the NFL, if you're a big fan of whoever the backup is for the New England Patriots and you cheer for him the whole game, they're never going to put him in over Tom Brady unless he gets hurt. Wrestling's different. You guys have the ability to make change, and I think that's really awesome.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ben. I have a question. Now, when you were in NXT, back when it was a big competition thing, you didn't have a beard. Did you decide to grow the beard out, and if so, why?
So I've had various states of beards over my career, and it's mostly because I hate shaving, and this started because I didn't want to shave, and then I just let it go, and now Bree likes to coif it. She likes to like finagle it a little bit so it's not as wild. But yeah, in 2005 I lost my razor and didn't shave for like 6 months, and it was ghastly. So yeah, it happens.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Gabriel, and I was wondering, since you're a coach of, a judge of Tough Enough, who your top picks for the Superstars and Divas are?
It's hard to say because so far for Tough Enough we haven't seen like a lot of wrestling stuff. We've just seen like some challenges that test their cardio and that sort of thing. So it'll be interesting to see when they start getting into the wrestling stuff. I really like Patrick has actually started wrestling a little bit before he got into Tough Enough. So I think he has a big leg up on a lot of people. As far as the women, I like Daria. Just because she was an MMA fighter before, and so that's interesting at least. So.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Jesse, and I was just wondering, out of all the WWE roster, who do you believe is the best all around, besides you, of course?
Oh my gosh, that's so hard. I think I really like watching Dean Ambrose. But that's like a combination of like watching his character, like he's so good at it, and then like how exciting he is in the ring. But as far as the best person in the ring, I think it would be Cesaro. I could watch him wrestle all day, and I just think he's fantastic.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Asif, and we've heard Colt Cabana's podcast with CM Punk about the backstage drama with Vince and the title and the doctors. Now, I want to hear, your side of the backstage drama with Vince and what goes around and what he does.
My relationship with Vince is weird. The first time I recall, so when I first came out on NXT, I had this match with Chris Jericho, and it went pretty well. And when I came to the back, Chris Jericho was like, man, Vince, this guy's really good. We need to do something with him. And Vince was like, him? He doesn't even eat meat. And so like, it's, but our relationship has gotten better since then. And like, I don't know. He's never really said anything bad to me to my face. So, I mean, I have a good relationship with him, but I don't get offended by a lot of stuff. And the backstage politics, it happens, but I don't get involved in it. So, I mean, to me, it's just like, whatever, I do my best. And if I get good stuff, great. And if I don't get good stuff, I do my best. So.
Thank you for your time and get well soon.
Hello, Daniel. My name's Alec. I just wanted to thank you for like the respect that you give to WWE and like the hard-nosed blue collar style that you do. Do you think that's something that the WWE should perpetuate, or do you think that's bad for business?
Okay, can you rephrase the question?
That the type of wrestling that you do is kind of old school, blue collar, like hard-nosed, physical, and it lends to injuries. Do you think that's something that WWE should perpetuate?
It's hard to say. So I wrestle the style that I enjoy wrestling. So I'm not doing it necessarily because I think that's how wrestling should go or anything like that. I think wrestling will evolve depending on what the fans want. And so if somebody's wrestling a style that people really like and people start cheering them, they have no option but to really push that person forward. So I don't think it's really something that you can dictate to people like, hey, you guys should wrestle like this. Wrestling to me has always been this artistic outlet for me. So it's been like, okay, this is how I would like to wrestle. And if fans appreciate it, great. I did some matches that were artistically very pleasing, but the fans did not like, which included a 15-minute match against Cesaro where I kept him in a headlock, or he kept me in a headlock for the entire 15 minutes. And the finish was I got out of the headlock, pin. And so for me, it was very artistically fun, but for the fans, they were just like, what the hell am I watching? So, you know, I don't know.
Okay. Thank you for your time. Get better.
My name is Anthony. If you were to eventually be inducted into the Hall of Fame, who would you want to induct you?
William Regal, without a doubt. William Regal's had a bigger influence on my career than anybody. He's awesome and just very well spoken, and I know that he wouldn't lie or like make up any stories. So either him or Kane. Kane would be good too, but preferably William Regal.
Thank you.
Would you consider Regal to be the most underrated? I mean, he's got to be for career-wise, right?
I don't know. It's hard to say who's underrated and who's not. I mean, I don't really pay attention to that kind of thing. He had an incredible career. He's lived off of pro wrestling since like 1985. So I mean, to say that's underrated, I don't know.
Hey, my name is Daniel. Same thing as yours. By the way, one simple question. What was your dream opponent in the WWE or any other wrestling company? What would that be?
I've always wanted to wrestle Shawn Michaels because Shawn helped train me and because he's the best. I'd also like to wrestle Brock Lesnar, but I think now the WWE fears that if I wrestled Brock, he'd break my neck. So, you know, we'll see.
Hey Daniel, my name's Tyler. Quickly, I've always heard this story about Ryback and you at Panera. Can you give like a quick little summary of like what that is or something like that?
Okay, so the Ryback fears change, and he is used to eating certain things, and he was on the road with me and Cody Rhodes, and we took him to Panera Bread because this is when I was vegan, and that's one of the few places I could eat. And he got up there and had a meltdown. He had no idea what he could possibly eat at Panera Bread. And so Cody and I went to sit down. We had ordered our food, but we had left Ryback up there to do his thing. And then he comes over, he storms over to us, and he's just sweating. And he's just like, there's nothing I can eat here. You guys can eat here, but somebody like me can't, implying that we're small. And so small people can eat at Panera Bread. And then so Cody went up and walked him through step by step. Hey, well, you know, if you order like extra chicken, they'll give you more chicken, and that can be enough meat for you. And like, he was actually, you guys have to understand, the Ryback is a wonderful human being, but he's also just kind of funny and strange. And so he's like, do you guys even have salads, to the lady behind the thing? And she just looks at him like, yeah, there's a big menu of salads right here. So yeah.
Thank you very much.
Sup, I'm David. I was just wondering, what are your thoughts about CM Punk joining UFC?
I think it's awesome. So I didn't know he was doing it. I was at, it's actually in Orlando at the Performance Center, watching the pay-per-view, when all of a sudden Punk popped on the TV, and I was like, holy cow, this is awesome. And like, I've liked CM Punk for a long time. We've known each other and respected each other for a long time. I think it's really gutsy for him to get in there and do that, and I'm wishing him the best. I mean, like, I root for people who love what they do and who are willing to take risks and stuff like that, and I just think it's awesome. So I wish him the best.
All right. Get well, bro.
Hello, Daniel. My name is Josh. I have one question for you. I've been watching wrestling for 4 years when you started, right? When you're world heavyweight champion. And I have a lot of favorite matches with you. But I have a question is, who is your favorite opponent you have ever wrestled in a storyline, and why?
See, it's weird because I have this whole like pre-WWE phase of my life where I had different people who I really loved to wrestle. One of my favorite is a Ring of Honor wrestler named Nigel McGuinness. Nigel and I had like a lot of really good matches that were artistically very fulfilling, and those I count among like the highlights of my career. But then as far as in WWE, I've loved being able to get a chance to wrestle guys who I wrestled on the independents, just because it's like there's a connection there. Like, hey, look, I wrestled Seth Rollins on Raw for like 15 minutes, and we wrestled each other in front of 75 people, and like now this is really cool. And so we have that connection, and the same with me and Cesaro. And me and Ambrose wrestled each other on this Wednesday show in Ohio where I nearly missed my flight, and I had to change in the car. I'd never met him before, and I'm changing in the car, and I'm thinking like, oh no, I'm gonna have to wrestle some crappy guy, and we've never met, and we haven't been able to, anything. I walk into the ring, and this is the first time I'd wrestled Dean Ambrose, first time I think I'd ever met him, and he was awesome. And like, we just hit it off right away in the ring. And so moments like that in WWE where you get to wrestle these people where you have history with them, I think that's very special. In wrestling William Regal in Europe, and most of those were never televised, was some of the most fun I've ever had wrestling. So just that sort of thing.
Okay. Thank you.
And definitely a shout out to those matches with Nigel McGuinness. Those are fantastic. I know you said they were artistically pleasing, but they're great for fans too. They're definitely worth going out of your way to look up.
Out of all the incredible matches you had in your career, which one do you like the most?
So I had a match with Kenta, who, if you follow NXT, his name is Hideo Itami. We did this match in New York City in 2006, where I had actually separated my shoulder 3 weeks before, and he literally spent the whole match kicking me in the arm. And it was because everybody knew I was hurt. There was this very real drama, to the point where like there were people in the audience crying. And like, so it's really cool, like when we entertain people and when you get some claps, and then when you, like with the Team Hell No stuff, and I've done some other stuff where you can make people laugh, but if you can really get people so emotionally invested that they cry, like it's very, to me, very artistically pleasing.
All right, guys, this is the last question, so make it a good one.
Better make it good.
Hi, Daniel. My name is Chris, and I want to know, do you get along with anybody in WWE like you hate the most working?
Who do I hate? Are you asking, do I like anybody?
No, I'm saying that do you don't like anybody in WWE?
Is there anybody I don't like?
Yes.
Okay. No, not really. I mean, I like everybody, and if I don't like somebody, I don't really hang out with them. So.
But you like John Cena, though.
Yeah. Do you know what? I know that it's popular to boo John Cena, but John Cena is a fantastic human being for the most part. He also, as far as people who respect what we do, he works really, really hard. And I mean maybe harder than anybody. That whole hustle, loyalty, respect thing isn't just a gimmick. It's like, that's who he is as a person. Which is, I can see that would be really grating to people because he's like, oh, he really is like this guy. But I don't know, he's awesome and he's quick-witted and he's funny to be around and has a great sense of humor, so.
Thank you.
All right, guys, let's give a big SuperCon.
Can we do one more? Just one more. Yep, sorry.
Hi, I'm Ben, and who was your favorite wrestler when you were a kid?
When I was a kid, my favorite wrestler was the Ultimate Warrior.
All right, guys, let's give a warm SuperCon welcome here for Daniel Bryan.